Hi, I'm Steve and I want to talk to you about AutoPylot, the product that solves the biggest CRM frustrations. In this presentation, we'll talk a little about AutoPylot, what it is and what the benefits are, what the different components of the solution are, then a little about security and how data storage is handled, and then we'll do a demonstration. At its heart, AutoPylot is a mobile app that automates the capture, logging, and analysis of customer interactions, specifically phone calls and text messages made from the mobile device. By automating this process, information about these calls and these text messages are pushed directly into your CRM. AutoPylot really is a second line, second number service, dedicated specifically for voice and text calls. Reps use their own existing CRM account to log into the CRM system so that data can be pushed directly into the network. AutoPylot also supports call recording and transcribing of phone calls. This can be set at an account level or at an individual level. With the data from these calls, additional analysis of call conversations and customer interactions can be obtained. This can be fed directly into your AI analysis process to get better insight on customer engagements. In terms of benefits, AutoPylot delivers happier, more efficient salespeople. They don't have to do data entry, it removes a lot of busy work, and they can spend more time selling. On the managerial side, managers get a complete view of their salespeople, their users' activities, and gets insight into the conversations that they're having with their customers. Plus, we find a lot of sales organizations provide a second phone dedicated for work. By consolidating that into the AutoPylot mobile app, you get a cheaper, flexible, and more engaging service than a second line service. Finally, by capturing all these conversations, both text and audio, you can turn the customer engagements into business intelligence. It is the first system that enables text messaging directly from salespeople into the CRM system, and Dynamics in particular. Let's talk a little about the solution. There's three components to AutoPylot. The first is the mobile app, which is available from the Apple App Store or from Google Play, and uses the user's existing Microsoft credentials. So login happens through the Azure portal and uses the Microsoft Security Framework. The app also provides the ability to make and receive phone calls using a dedicated AutoPylot number. The AutoPylot portal is really for management. It's designed for an AutoPylot or a sales operations manager or admin to manage the account itself, who accesses it, users, transition numbers, and make changes. Third is the AutoPylot D365 console app. This is a Dynamics app. It's available through AppSource, and it's designed to be installed into the customer or the enterprise's environment. And it does two things. First, it adds the data fields and tables needed for the AutoPylot system, specifically the text field, but there's some additional fields used in phone calls. And it provides a view for those features as well, so that organizations can see text messages, can see some of the special features of AutoPylot, and make those enable those in their own Dynamics customizations. In terms of data storage, the data source of record is the Dataverse. All information lives in the Dataverse. And when a user logs in, a copy of the contacts, leads, phone calls, notes, text messages that the user is able to see and access through their permissions is made available in the mobile app. But at the end of the day, the core data source is the Dataverse. And as we mentioned, the security framework is the Microsoft Security Framework. So whatever policies, permissions are in place for that individual at that company are enforced through the AutoPylot service. Essentially, it's the same as if a user logged in through a web portal. Now let's see AutoPylot in action. On the screen now, I have my iOS phone mirrored. You can see the AutoPylot app is installed, and you can see that I'm logged into autopilot.crm.dynamics.com, and we'll talk a little about the web interface here in a second. I will start the AutoPylot mobile app. I select Dynamics, and you can see it uses the Microsoft Sign-In module for authentication. Now that I'm logged in, you can see my contacts and my leads. I'll go into settings. my profile. You can see my username, my AutoPylot number, the email address that I was used to log in at, and the environment that I am connected to right now as well. Now, if we go over to the web interface, you can see there's an AutoPylot console app along with traditional or the existing Microsoft Dynamics apps. We'll go into here. I can look at my leads, which match up. I can look at my contacts, which match up. And now we'll go ahead and make a phone call. So when I pull up Steve, you can see my mobile numbers in the system and that I've already opted in to receive text messages. So if I press the green icon to make a phone call, it places an outbound call. Hello, 123. Hello, 123. You can see the call is logged down below. And if I go into my web interface, you can see that the call was logged in Dynamics. To send a text message, I simply select text messaging, enter a new message, and press send. Now if we go back to the timeline, you'll see a text message has been sent. So in conclusion, AutoPylot is a mobile app that automates the collection of logging of calls and text messages directly into Dynamics. The result is happier, more efficient salespeople, 10 times the conversational data in your CRM, and the first and really one of the only processes and systems for managing and tracking text messages between your salespeople and their customers. The AutoPylot mobile app and mobile portal are an AutoPylot portal provided by us. The AutoPylot D365 console is available through AppSource. Security is all managed within the Azure framework, and data is stored in the Microsoft Dataverse. Thank you, and if you have any questions, reach out to us at autopylot.com.